Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be playing some more Lex Imperialis. We are heading back to Munda's Valancius, which is just one system jump away, so let's get straight over there. We're going to go and report back into Marshal Strux, let him know about our trip to the planet that just blown itself up. Lethus, was it? Something like that? Anywho, doesn't matter, it's not there anymore. Let's go and report our... I'd call it success. Hopefully he'll see it that way. Urgent report, Lord Captain. The barges carrying the tithe have been seized and are heading off in an unknown direction. Multiple sources are voxing the flagship at once. I detect the signatures of several noble houses and the administratum. Who dared seize the tithe? We're getting reports of it being an order of the Adeptus Administratum. We have received several official forms to the effect that Dargonis' orbit is currently deemed unsafe for tithe storage due to an unspecified threat that has sprung up on the world in your absence. What do the nobles want? The messages have no discernible structure or cause. Professions of loyalty, audience requests, even pleas for leniency. One thing is clear, Lord Captain, something has agitated the upper echelons of the nobility. In other words, they are scared. And what about the administratum? You were requested to come to the Palace of Justice in person. The prefect speaks of a terrible heresy that is threatening the von Valancius protectorate. While you were away, steps were taken to prevent the spread of the corruption. However, your presence is required to make the final decision. Prefect Voltaire will meet you in person for a confidential conversation. What do you say, Solomon?
It appears you have no choice if you want to help your subjects. Although I don't like what is going on, I'd advise you to go to the palace, if nothing else, to find out what you can do to protect your people.
You're right. Vigdis, prepare a shuttle for me and my retinue.
As you will, Lord Captain.
So yeah, we going in. Okay, Palace of Justice, let's do it. We'll keep the group together, looks good to me. Prefect Inscribia Voltaire raises her eyes to you.
Rogue trader von Valancius, welcome back to the Palace of Justice.
What is happening on Dargonis? What is the cause of the panic, and why this private conversation?
Oh, that is why you're here, is it not? To learn why the world is distressed, while the air is charged with vox transmissions. Any administrator worth their station would be concerned. Disruptions to established processes always lead to, well, no matter.
The prefect peers at your face. Her voice sounds strange, deeper, calmer, less cantankerous than usual.
Have you ever pondered the nature of heresy, von Valancius? Perhaps to your mind, heresy is merely limited to Xenos, warp-spawn, and insurgents. But there are other heresies whose existence is far more easily forgotten. Those of negligence, of avarice, of confusion and disorder.
Whatever form it may take, heresy always treads quietly unbeknownst to its ultimate victim. I believe both of us have given some thought to this in recent days. The prefect gives you a different look from before, and the century-old weariness in her eyes dissipates for just a moment. There is surprise and piqued curiosity in her expression, both of which, however, she quickly conceals behind the usual veil of aloofness.
Rogue trader Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius, in accordance with the amendment to Decree 6498/DF issued by Adeptus Administratum and the Adeptus Arbites, you stand accused of countless heresies that threaten the sacred tithe and the well-being of the Protectorate. All related statements have been formulated and evidence of your crimes registered. The proceedings will commence as soon as you and your accomplices present yourselves as the accused.
The prefect looks at you with the eyes of a snake.
A trial awaits you, Dahlia von Borinicus.
Who in the void do you think you are?
I am his servant and a votary of the Imperium's prosperity. I cannot stand idly by and watch you trample on the glorious legacy of your bloodline.
Trial, this is my protectorate. I'm the law here.
And it is this conviction that has turned you into a monster that, in its charge towards the abyss, aims to drag the whole realm down with it.
The prefect's eyes seem to burn right through you.
The gravity of your crimes is enough to depose your entire dynasty. Do not oppose the law, von Valancius. Doing so will only serve to make your situation worse.
We've only got 25% chance of doing that, so allow ourselves to be escorted to the trial. So be it. Let's see what you've prepared for me. The prefect gives a dispassionate nod to the arbitrators behind you and turns away.
The court will now hear the case to declare the von Valancius dynasty heretics and traitors against the Imperium.
To the murmurs of all, the prefect picks up a scroll bearing administratum seals. Zoom in on her. There she is. Usurper.
This hearing is being held outside of standard regulations due to the exceptional status of the accused. The trial is public so that none will dare to question the fairness of the charges and the verdict. Marshal Strux, you have the floor. State the list of crimes against the Lex Imperialis that will be examined here today.
With practiced skill, Strux's voice reverberates throughout the hall.
Conspiring to steal the sacred tithe, undermining the legitimate authorities on an imperial world, involving sorcery and damage to the tithe, conceiving and executing plans to disrupt sector-wide tithe shipments.
Abelard, answer the charges. Barely containing his seething rage, Abelard thunders, Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius, bearer of the sacred warrant, the God Emperor's anointed and sovereign of this protectorate, denies these false accusations. The Administratum and Adeptus Arbites will not get away with this flagrant attempt to sully the rogue trader's good name and plunder her dynasty's coffers, make no mistake.
Let the records show that the defendant expresses no remorse for her deeds. We will proceed to the examination of the individual heresies committed by the defendant. Conspiring with the captains of the Heartless to steal the sacred tithe. Upon arriving on Rykard Minoris, the rogue trader aided Captain Sargona in unloading the tithe onto his ship under the cover of a planetary riot. Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius later eliminated her accomplice using Adeptus Arbites forces led by Proctor Anthar. The Proctor attempted to appease the rogue trader's greed by offering the frigate known as the Heartless in exchange for the safety of the tithe. Then the rogue trader boarded the ship in an attempt to seize the tithe. Her actions led to the death of a squad of arbitrators. Proctor Anthar alone survived the rogue trader's murderous ploy. Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius personally eliminated her accomplice, Captain Sargona, in order to destroy the evidence of her schemes.
The prefect looks up from the scroll and sweeps her indifferent gaze over to you.
Do you have anything to say in your defense?
Alright, we've got quite a few choices here. I don't like the sound of that. Solomon, tell them what really happened.
Proctor, stand down. You will not intervene in the proceedings of the sacred court without permission. Your reports were quite comprehensive. Our understanding of these events is founded upon them. You will give your testimony when the prefect requests it. Is that clear?
Solomon's eyes bore into Strux.
Extremely, Marshal.
I'm tempted to do this one. That's an interesting tale. You forgot the part where we were suddenly attacked by a void kraken, but Solomon bravely fought it off with a can opener in his bootlaces.
This information is not in the records. I will make a note of this attempt to distort the truth. According to the calculation of the tithe transferred from the Heartless, the Administratum was short 3 standardized units of volume. It is presumed that the rogue trader did not risk seizing more in the presence of the Proctor, but even 1 ounce unaccounted for makes the tithe incomplete. Let us move on to Thassara. This world underpaid the appropriate tithe amount, a crime that should have been remedied by the rogue trader escorting Proctor Anther to that backward world. Proctor, you are hereby called to testify. Describe what happened on that planet.
When we arrived on Thassara, the rogue trader and I were drawn into the machinations of the planetary governor. He used sorcery on the Emperor's anointed, but the rogue trader managed to overcome the spell and do battle with the heretic. The governor was executed, and we...
A lie uttered in the Palace of Justice is a serious offense, Proctor. Gleito, retrieve recording, Thessera, 84-Alpha.
Gleito, no. The prefect nods to the marshal, who removes a device from his belt. The press of a button and Gleito responds with a sharp metallic clang. The cybermastiff's paws carry him to Strax. The cybermastiff's entire body begins to tremble, his feet clawing up tiny sparks, and then he projects a picked recording from his eyes into the floor. The footage depicts a scene from Gleito's viewpoint. The quality is terrible, but you can make out the hall where the sculptor is conducting the sinister ritual. You see Maeve interfere with the ritual and the beam of warp energy connecting the two of you. You hear Solomon's command. The scene changes and you see Maeve, or rather yourself in Maeve's body, wandering through the streets of Thessera. The next clip brings you back to the hall where Solomon is firing on the altar. The events in the recording are echoed by a dragging pain in your muscles and a fog in your head. Pain flits across Solomon's granite face as he looks at his dog.
You have used us as a tool against the rogue trader from the beginning. Such tricks and schemes are unworthy of the Arbites.
As we can observe, Proctor, Anthar destroyed the heretical altar, and then a fight ensued in which the Psyker died. There is not a single shred of evidence that the rogue trader actually overcame the sorcery. It is more likely that the person standing before us is a heretic and a creature of corruption.
Let's try the lore warp option. The consciousness in this body is my own. Any psyker capable of mind reading can confirm it. Succeeded.
You must be confident if you're offering yourself up for examination by a psyker.
Marshal?
The old woman stares at the arbitrator without blinking, as if hypnotizing him. Finally, convinced that the marshal's conversation with you is over before it even began, she returns to her papers. The prefect leafs through a few pages in a folder.
The court also takes note of the pernicious effects of the rogue trader's handling of the Emperor's servants entrusted to her authority. Since arriving from Thessera, the rogue trader has done her duty by passing judgment on several subjects within the walls of this hallowed hall.
The prefect picks up the sheet of notes and wrinkles her nose.
Connivance at the doleful host's fanaticism and the loss of a valuable astropath resulted in the appointment of a new choirmaster. That same day, he lost several messages of utmost importance, thus sparking a war between two Coronis Expanse worlds. As of now, one of those worlds has been completely destroyed and the other deemed uninhabitable. Rogue Trader exiled Cardinal Anvilus from Dargonus so that he would meet his death away from his parish and flock. The ecclesiarchs of the capital world officially condemned this unfair decision, which they interpret as a heretical attempt to weaken Dargonus' faith through bereaving the planet of a holy preacher. Lord Moles, deemed to be alive, committed a transgression of soft-heartedness in running his family enterprise. He released all his convicted workers and terminated the contracts with his primary suppliers, citing their moral qualities. His actions resulted in 12 kilotons of undelivered food rations across several recipients.
First, the Administratum is unable to solve cases on its own, and now it has the audacity to criticize the verdicts of the rogue trader. Prefect, your accusations do not merely cast aspersions on the competence of the Administratum, they challenge the sanctity of the decisions of the Emperor's anointed.
I cannot predict the future. A poor outcome is a possibility in every case. If I had chosen a different path, the prefect still would have found fault with it. Persuasion succeeded.
The Adeptus Arbites never hesitate in passing judgment, for our hand is guided by the God Emperor. To condemn the one who passes judgment is to question the God Emperor himself.
Marshal, enough!
Not a single muscle twitches on the prefect's face, but her eyes blaze with barely suppressed annoyance.
Moving on. The defendant was placed in an unprecedented position of trust by the Adeptus Arbites and the Administratum. She was entrusted with the coordinates of the world where the tithe of the entire Coronis Expanse was held. As agreed, the defendant was to transport the sacred tribute to Dargonus, but what did she do?
The Marshal snaps his fingers over Glato's head. The Cybermastiff flinches as if from a bolter shot, but obediently plays another recording. You recognize Solomon's voice.
So, Lady Tia Theodora intended to steal the tithe from the start. She arranged the world's destruction to cover her tracks, installed a servant to keep an eye on things, and even made a contingency plan in case of her own death. All she needed was an opportune moment like this one. With the expanse being torn apart, the planet's death looks convincing.
Tithe theft, orchestrated by Theodora von Valancius, committed by the defendant, witnessed by Proctor Anthar. In addition, the defendant led a fleet of her associates into a classified system, causing irreparable damage to the sacred tribute. As a result of internal squabbling between the ruffians and the defendant, tithe barges carrying at least 9,000 standardized units were destroyed or stolen, the equivalent of 2 decades worth of payments from 3 Alpha-class Exactis Prima tithe-grade worlds.
I'm going to go with this. I sent a portion of the tithe for rebuilding the expanse. It will serve the people better than leaving it to rot in your coffers forever.
The sacred tithe is not intended to be used by anyone other than the Adeptus Administratum, the deliverers of his will.
Strax does not turn to look at Inscribia, but you have no doubt about whom he is addressing.
The Adeptus Administratum, like the Adeptus Arbitis, only oversees the allocation of the tithe. I do not need to remind you of that, do I, Prefect?
The old woman snatches up the next parchment.
How good of you to speak up, Gregorus. As an addendum to the proceedings, we will be examining the heresies of Solomon Anthar, resulting from his moral failure to oppose the greed of the heretic von Valancius.
Something inside Glato clicks and Solomon's voice begins to play.
If anyone had told me before that I would be thinking about things like that, I probably would have caved their face in. The truth is, I no longer see heresy in such thoughts. If the Marshal learns the whole truth, it will make things difficult.
Let's try the coercion 75%. Solomon is his own master. I do not choose for him, but if you think that an arbitrator's tenets can be so easily broken by any passing stranger, then you insult the very core of the Adeptus Arbites. Succeeded.
The road trader is right. If the arbitrator is there to stray from the Lex, then he never was an arbitrator. The fault lies with me for not seeing the weakness in his heart in time.
Well, the proceedings are nearing their conclusion.
The prefect looks around at the nobles of Dargonus gathered in the hall.
The collection of transgressions and heresies that has been brought before this court of the God Emperor's servants has once and for all branded the rogue trader an abomination, who through all her deeds has sought to satisfy her petty and base desires rather than truly serve him. You are here today to witness the fall of the von Valancius dynasty and the long-awaited punishment that will be served upon it. Houses of Dargonus, do you reject the authority of this heretic?
I can't remember Urban Drivestem's accent.
If I might interrupt, Mistress Voltaire.
Urban Drivestem, governor of Dargonus, visibly nervous at the sight of the armed arbitrators, nevertheless raises his head haughtily.
We are much obliged to you for arranging this gathering.
The emphasis on the last word leaves no doubt that the noble's presence at the palace is involuntary.
However, all that has now taken place here does not change the facts. House von Valancius holds the warrant of trade. House von Valancius is a rogue trader dynasty, and no amount of legal contortions will change that. House Drivestem is loyal to the rogue trader.
Toriana Gaprak makes the sign of the Aquila. No shadow shall fall upon the name von Valancius or eclipse the radiance of the beneficent rogue trader line. Whatever your mechanical dog may say, House Gaprak is loyal to the rogue trader. Macarius Sauerback raises his head, his eyes burning with an almost deranged loyalty.
Venerating the letter of the law is not fidelity to justice. Straying from the tenets of the Lex is not discerning the essence of truth and the granting of retribution.
The man is silent for a few seconds before he almost shouts out.
House Sauerbeck is loyal to the rogue trader.
Clementia Vossarian looks straight at you as if the prefect does not even exist. She makes the sign of the Aquila and speaks in a low voice. House Vossarian is loyal to the rogue trader. Proctor Adriana Jaeger. Allow me to address you even though I am not of the first families of Dargonus. Proctor Jaeger, Adeptus Arbites Lethus Outpost. Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius made every effort to not only save the tithe, but also the Arbites contingent stationed on Lethus. I propose that such an act would have been entirely nonsensical if the rogue trader was intent on simply stealing the tithe. End of report. Prefect Volta stiffens as though what she just heard has come as a very unpleasant surprise. Her slender fingers grip the armrests of her chair, her knuckles cracking.
This world and its denizens are rotten to the core.
The prefect draws herself up straight with such force that you hear the arduous grinding of her implants. Her voice is cold and slightly tremulous.
Decree GC-781/89 Supplement 982 for tithe theft, participation in foul sorcery and other crimes against the Imperium. Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius is sentenced to death. The property of the dynasty is hereby confiscated and placed under the oversight of the Adeptus Administratum. Any last words, convict?
Now I feel like we might have been turning Strux in our favour. Shall we try and persuade him? Marshal Strux, you have heard my arguments in the prefect's distorted version of the truth. Do you require yet more information before you denounce the real culprit? Okay.
There is weight to your arguments, rogue trader, but even if you are right about the prefect, that does not immediately disprove all accusations against you.
Yeah, let's still go Iconoclast. It is a difficult thing to admit that one is in the wrong, Marshal. You have stumbled by putting your trust in Voltaire, but I have faith that you will make the right choice now. Hey, another 20 Iconoclast points in the bank. Inscribia heaves in a breath, ready to launch into a vehement tirade, but the Marshal raises his right hand and everyone falls silent.
That is enough. Voltaire, I trusted you, and I failed to notice when your wise counsel turned to instructions and orders. When my every action became subject to your avaricious schemes rather than the lax. But now I see things with perfect clarity, the way you try to manipulate the truth to achieve your ends.
Clenching his fist, Strux thunders,
You turned me into a puppet and then trampled on his laws. Prefect Inscribia Voltaire, you are charged with fraud, attempted assassination of the Emperor's anointed, and undermining the foundations of the Lex Imperialis. Surrender now and accept a dignified death.
I must refuse. Marshal Gregorus Strux, I charge you with treason against the Imperium and conspiring with a heretic. Fans of the Expanse, to battle!
Alright, we can have a bit of a boss fight against the old lady now. I knew we'd see this cannon in action at some point.
The absurdity of your struggle amuses me.
Right, let's see what we got. So there's a lot of... now what are these red things? Challenge issued. Mercenary Epsilon uses dueling tactics against this character. What does that mean? At the start of combat, mercenaries select their targets. Until they suffer damage from the designated target, the mercenary suffers 80% less damage from other sources. Okay. Interesting. Oh, we probably want to get rid of that then. So, Cassio. This is Epsilon. Which one's Epsilon? This guy. So as long as she damages him, the rest should be okay. Sure, we'll pop her there. Now, Dahlia, you're being targeted by Delta, who was up here, I think, wasn't he? This guy. Pop you there. Argenta. Zeta is this one. Pop you there. Pascal. Alpha. That one. Solomon, you've got Gamma. But this guy, oh, that's Beta. It's that guy. Okay, tell you what. Why don't you start off up here? Yeah, that's fine. Then we've got this chap, Blood Beta. It's that one up there. So Cassia, you want to hit this guy, Epsilon. Oops, what did I do? All she needs to do is damage him, so I'm tempted just to do like a little nudge there.
If I may.
There we go. Oh, where's Dahlia? That's Argenta. Dahlia.
Me. If you insist, Lord Captain.
Argenta, why don't you shoot this guy? Do I have anything that's free?
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
I don't really want to shoot the Arbites. Not bad. Cassia.
Escapes punishment.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Let's give a full go to
I'll
Dahlia.
paint your death in colors.
Alright, let's do a few things. Let's do that.
Ruin beckons. Purpose guides me. One step closer. Accept my offering!
Put like a diagonal one there, maybe.
Purpose guides me.
Okay.
Accept my offering! There is no mercy found in my heart. What a satisfying demise.
Okay. Pretty good.
This is beneath me. I won't waste my time on that.
Why can't I do that?
I will not stoop to this.
Oh, what?
I reject the very idea.
I don't get why you're refusing to do anything.
I won't waste my time on that. I will not stoop to this. I reject the very idea.
Okay, she's obviously got something on her.
I won't waste my time
I don't
on
know.
that.
Alright, tell you what,
This is beneath me.
in turn, I mean, I don't know, I don't get what you want me to do.
I will not stoop to this. I reject the very idea.
Don't know what to do. I'm going to save the game and I'll reload in.
I won't waste my
Alright,
time
bear with
on
me.
that.
Okay, I reloaded and that seems to have cleared it. So, let's put
I need
this
no
on
guidance.
you. He's kind of dead. What else should we do? We could put that on you.
One step closer.
I think probably because he's aiming at someone. If I give Abelard
Purpose guides me.
a chance to
We'll rule the
have a
stars
full go,
themselves.
he can go and get this guy's defenses down.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time.
Let's go sworn enemy. Sure,
Victory is
endure.
imminent. At your
Strike.
beck and call.
Alright, let's hit this guy.
It will be done. Ah, an exemplary strike. I will do my duty. Grey hair, sure hair. Indeed.
Still got movement. So, Scribia's actually... Okay, so we need to get through... through the barrier somehow, I guess. Let's pop Abelard here for now.
Approach.
Now we can have another go. Why don't we zap this
Ruin
guy?
beckons.
Cues are there. Cues are... Okay. Weapon of... Oh. Okay. Doesn't seem to have a health bar. Maybe I can't hit that yet. Okay, well what about...
I need no guidance. A blood-soaked tribute.
Hello? Prefect Inscribia Vulture kneels before you. Scores of fragile implants all over her body are twitching convulsively, giving her the appearance of a crushed insect. The prefect lets out a cough, then an unnerving smile appears on her lips.
I at least had to try. I served the von Valancius Protectorate faithfully for over 100 years, painstakingly cultivating order where others had failed to do so, while you and your ancestors sowed anarchy and havoc with your ever-changing whims. I stood on as the linchpin that kept this domain from sinking into criminal disarray. It was because of me that this gargantuan system continued to function with barely a flaw. The only source of disruption was you, the rogue traders. Yes, I at least had to try.
Yeah, I think she has got to die for what she did. You have forgotten your place in Scribia. You must be stopped, and that duty falls to me. Do you have anything to say in your defense?
Only the guilty try to defend themselves, whereas I acted in the interests of the Imperium. Such a shame that some things cannot be set right by bureaucratic means, and that the short-sightedness of certain people serving in adjacent divisions,
She pauses meaningfully, watching the Marshal knit his brows.
so often becomes an insurmountable obstacle.
You could have negotiated with me, voiced your dissatisfaction, and we would have found a way. Instead, you chose to plot behind my back. Execute her. Voltaire chuckles.
Never. The counterparty always bends the terms to its advantage.
What's she got up her sleeve? As the weapon roars, Inscribia Voltaire's body is reduced to dust. Okay. Marshal Gregorus Strax takes a measured step forward, his armor clanging.
You must judge me also, rogue trader. I have shamed the Adeptus Arbites by succumbing to Prefect Voltaire's manipulations, and betrayed the Lex Imperialis, the very law I was meant to uphold. I am guilty. I insist that you pass the sentence and carry it out immediately.
You helped me defeat the Prefect. Why would I sentence you?
Remorse does not absolve me from being culpable for what has transpired. I have betrayed the Lex. There can be no going back for traitors.
Yeah, I'm not going to execute him, so I guess my choice is this one. Marshal Gregorus Strax, taking into account your record of past achievements, I hereby deny you your execution and instead sentence you to punishment by toil. I appoint you High Overseer of the world Viabos 6. That is where you will remain for the rest of your life.
I consider this measure unduly lenient, but I have no right to protest your decision.
The Marshal brings a closed fist to his chest and adds solemnly,
For your judgment is final.
Strax sets his shield down, detaches his carapace, and places it over the shield. Now clad only in his undersuit uniform, he looks smaller without his armor, and very tired.
Marshal Gregorus Strax is stepping down from his post. I am no longer fit to wear this armor. May its new wearer bring honor to the Lex.
The rest of the room stands still, all eyes turn to you. The final verdict. What you say next will decide the fate of not just the Adeptus Arbites, but of justice in the Cronus Expanse as a whole. Yeah, I wanted to name Solomon. No. Let's do Solomon. Proctor Solomon Anthar, as ruler of Dargonus and head of the von Valancius dynasty, I name you as the new Marshal of the Adeptus Arbites in the Cronus Expanse. See to it that the Arbites once more become faithful servants of the Lex Imperialis under your leadership.
Your decree carries great weight, but my assignment will not happen so quickly. There is no precedent for electing a new Marshal in the Expanse, not to mention that the Lord Marshal is unable to participate in the process. We will have to develop a new procedure, otherwise we arbitrators will not accept these changes. Until my official assignment, though, I will lead as acting head of the Adeptus Arbites.
Justice is done. My judgment is made. Among the broken fragments of the great scales and the burning Arbites banners, the people kneel as one. The verdict has been announced. Whatever the future may hold, one thing is certain. The Cronus Expanse will not be the same.
Embrace true power.
It's done. Let's have a quick look at what we got as a reward for that quest. So if we go over to Solomon, so he could now equip the Marshal's helmet. Whenever the wearer hits an enemy with a shield, all allies in a 3-cell radius gain 5 resolve. I mean, it's going to look very silly, isn't it? So we should probably wear it. The kinesiostatic shield. Okay, so the wielder gains +1 deflection and +6% parry. Whenever the wielder successfully blocks an attack, they gain a number of kinesiostatic shield stacks equal to the portion that attack's damage. When the wielder makes an attack with the shield, it deals an additional... Okay, so it kind of... When it gets hit, it kind of stores up the damage and then discharges it when you make an attack with the shield. The thing is, I like his recharge for 0 AP. I mean, sure. I mean, he's the new Marshal though, so he should probably. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll put it on the old alternate. Still got this bug where if you switch out the weapon sets, it doesn't show in the preview. And was there an armor? Did it say? It's probably this, and it's probably he can't equip heavy armor. What does it do though? The targets hit by the wielder's attacks of opportunity become immobilized. Okay. So his strength isn't more than 70, because I haven't really been leveling up his strength. Yeah, I mean, he can't wear it anyway. It'd be nice to see what it looks like on him, but I guess not. Okay. Have a quick look at the journal then, just to see if there's anything else. It feels like there isn't. It's just got my main story stuff there now. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what.
Tread a path
how can I rotate? Yeah. So I'm going to leave the area, go back to my ship, and travel to a system just to see if there's anything else. There's actually Inscribia's stuff somewhere.
Where is it?
It's in front of the cannon. Alright, let's go here.
Searching is my observance.
Feels like they've... Oh, okay, maybe this? In the broken base of the scales is a chest adorned with the patina-covered emblem of the Adeptus Arbites. The purity seals suggest it was consecrated before being immured. What do we got? We got another shield, the Shield of Meragon. 40% block, that's pretty good. The wielder's incoming damage is reduced by -20%, and the damage dealt to Xenos and demons is increased by 10%. An inscription on the inner side reads, Many an enemy of humankind took aim at Meragon's heart, yet this shield stopped each foe's deadly sting, for the God Emperor protects his faithful servants from death's rapacity. Seems pretty good. The Ring of Meragon. When the wearer kills a target for the first time in a round, the next attack automatically hits. The wearer's arbitrator abilities use this rank can be used again. Oh, that's pretty good. Meragon's Boots. While under the effect of Ruthless Suppression, I'm not quite sure what that is, the wearer is immune to immobilized, prone, and slowed. And Meragon's Helmet. If the wearer is the arbitrator with the Castigator specialization, their abilities cost 0 AP. Well, I don't know what that is. I mean, in terms of equipping Solomon, though. Alright. I'll say Meragon's Shield, then. I'll have to do a little switch out. So the hell, I don't know what the Castigator thing is. Maybe you'd have to completely respec him to get that, or have your own Overseer thing, you know. This seems pretty good, though. I'm not so bothered about the Aquila. And it was Boots, wasn't it? Here. Stick them on. Why not? They're for his class. I don't even know what those things are, but it's not going to be too important, I suspect. Right, what else? In terms of, I think this is probably largely it for this look at the DLC, but as I said, I just want to go back to my ship and just see if there's anything that kind of results from it. Now, what's this? These are probably things that all the mercenaries were carrying. I mean, I think I'll stick them over there. I might take the dog one, though, in case that's any better. Otherwise, we'll just take those.
The world trembles beneath.
Alright, let's go to the galaxy map. Can I reach any of these rumors? What is there? A rare find. You know what? I'm just gonna chart the course. There we go. Let's go over there and see what this is. We've obviously been to this system, but I don't know... Oh. Okay, we'll check it out. Oh, is it this one? I've definitely done this one. If that's what it is. So I don't think it's the new thing. Yeah, I've done this one. In the main campaign. That's okay. Let's go to the other planet that had a landing zone. Smuggler hideout.
The world will bow.
Alright, well, we'll take a look. I can't remember this one off the top of my head. Okay.
8, 7, 6, 5.
The Emperor favors me today. I better myself through my service.
My
Duty
resolve
prevails.
is unshaken.
I was hoping to disarm those in time.
Unexpected result.
A grey unsightly vine winds through the surviving remnants of the cage, almost merging with the cold stone of the depot. Each tendril of the ragged plant is topped with a single leaf, shriveled but still alive. You've heard the stories about the unfortunate souls who were careless enough to get too close to the brain leaf. Its fleshy fronds, each with a semblance of individual consciousness, merge with the nervous system of its victims, turning them into mindless carrier puppets.
How strange, this ivy coloured its surroundings in a caustic green.
This ivy coloured its surroundings caustic green. Okay.
Just like a predator singles out its prey before pouncing. Never before have I seen a plant able to cast its own colour.
Burn the plant. Heresy. Alright, let's get back up.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Intriguing.
Never doubt me.
I guess that's probably where I should have gone. Where's all this stuff? Injuries. Let's go this way. A fragment of an orc energy weapon capable of teleporting targets using warp energy, roughly sawed off with a las cutter, cannot be repaired. The particularly strong orcs wear hulking impenetrable armor, complete with a lethal weapon not entirely dissimilar to a power claw.
Embrace true power.
Strange improvised weapons are laid out on top of the crates. A rocket on a stick, an ugly black and white checkered gun, rusty axes and brass knuckles. This does seem like sort of orc stuff from the 40k universe. Like I said, I'm not entirely familiar with it, but I have, seen pictures and stuff. Box thief. Jen, did you hear? They're going to bring in another batch of Xenotech. Life's going to be good. Idiot. We haven't dealt with the previous delivery. The clients don't wish to take risks after the accidents. Who cares? There are people with more money than common sense in every system. You know what matters? That's right. What matters is that we're making mountains of thrones. I've got a bad feeling about this. Jen, turn that frown upside down. You'll start looking like our wrinkly supplier lad if you don't. Or is she our supplier lass? Well, whatever. Alright. Not sure what's going on there.
Pay attention. The Emperor favors me today. See? Right there. Duty prevails.
A self-propelled rail carriage that once transported Hive residents between stations. A needle rifle. I don't think that's particularly special. Yeah, we should go and turn off this power source that's
Powers
up here.
unseen uncover my path.
Somebody help! Okay. Oh, what was that? Oh, my bloody printer again. I don't care. Right. Should I attack this?
There is a fervor in my soul. I will triumph.
Oh, then we're going to attack it?
I reject the very idea.
Alright, don't worry about it.
Let's
Tell you what,
seize the
Argenta, why don't you
opportunity.
shoot it?
Join me in prayer.
Alright. Well, let's go down here anyway.
Cast your eye there. Nothing escapes my sight.
Wait, why am I doing it? Oh, it's
Predictable.
Xenos.
You're still breathing, I hope. I plan to draw out your suffering. Make you beg for mercy the way my boys begged when they were dying from your blasted Xeno stories.
A Xenos race called Ta'au employs self-aware machines they call drones. Judging by the marks on the hull, this specimen was gutted quite recently, was that? Deftly. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, God.
Pay attention. See, right there. Cast.
Incredible. Your heart, esteemed Magos, shines with a kaleidoscope of colors, albeit one made of metal.
The spiky Xenochest looks like a chunk of solid rock with no cracks or fractures.
Flesh. We know the higher passions granted
well.
by the Omnissiah. The aversion to tech corruption, the blessing of compliance with the canon of maintenance, and the satisfaction of effective devotional service.
Ruinous favor
According to the labels, the
prevails.
containers with insulated uniforms and snowshoes were to be delivered to the Astra Militarum Quartermaster on the frozen world Xenarag 2. The grav bike has been gently washed clean of traces of soot and blood. The attached label reads, ordered by Master MLD.
Perfection.
This contraption was assembled by a madman. The components do not match one another and only serve to confuse and confound. But you managed to spot the hidden trigger in time. It's a trap. Right, let's try it. I'm going to use...
Predictable.
Okay.
The world will bow.
We managed to make out a Medusa's limp tentacles through the murky glass. The parasite has died, regardless of what it was being kept
Nothing
here for.
escapes my sight.
Okay, what do we got? Probably that stuff.
Stop! There!
The containers are stuffed to the brim with dry rations and corpse starch. Such quantity of provisions could feed a small detachment for months. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
Empty canisters, dry ration wrappers, and petrified feces. Someone was cooped up in here for a long time. Lovely. A subdued rumbling comes from under the cover of the ancient cogitator, as if the machine spirits resent being awakened. After a few simple directions from the control panel, the vid screen flashes to life and starts blinking, waiting for your input. Examine the log. The mechanism lazily grinds its gears, but grants you access to the requested information. Big Pew. Day 21, third month of the cycle. Now that's what I call good fortune. We hit the jackpot. This Xenos peddler, a Strixis, sure did show up in time. The competitors have been popping up like fleas on a half-dead rat. Murd Key has already brought her a bunch of rare and exotic shit, and I've never been paid this much for a single order before. Life is good thanks to him or her, and it's gonna get even better. Day 6th of the 9th cycle of the month. It is time to end this. The thrones are coming in faster than I can spend them, but I'm starting to lose count of the people who died. Yesterday I walked past a dozen of my people and couldn't recognize 4. The customers are starting to ask why there's so much blood on the delivery crates. Damned if I believe that crooked-ass Xenos rat again. His deliveries are killing my guys, and there haven't even been any shootouts. Next time Murd Key comes here, he won't be leaving this place alive, I'll make sure of it. Alright, list of reports. 6 crates of tech upgrades, 4 blocks of Tau firearms, 8 units of miscellaneous Drakari devices. La la la, okay. Overhead cost, disposal of bodies, keeping an eye on Doe. I've got a bad feeling this won't be the last of it. Vox recorded conversations. We read that. Hey Doe, what are you messing with? The big guy said not to touch the goods. Bugger off, Arlie, and mind your own business. Ears everywhere, you know. I said bugger off. I'm not going to rot in this hole until Pew gets his shit together. Throne, take your dough. We've already lost 4 men because of this Xenos shit. Put the stones down, mate. What do you say we wet the old whistle instead? Doe, what are you doing? What are you doing, Doe? No, get away from me. Ah! It's alive, alive! What? Why are you screaming? That thing, it's just launched onto Luffa's face and she went mad. Throne be damned. Cut it off. Cut it off. Hey guys, what's wrong? We're missing the Drakari crates, lad. But I was told to look after the sound of several bursts of bolter fire. Now, in the list to report, I think the last one actually had something I didn't read. My own people are stealing from me now. What did that scoundrel Murd Key promise them? If I'm going to find out, there's going to be trouble. Alright, disconnect the tracks. Yeah. Okay.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
I don't know if this is a DLC location or if genuinely I just didn't see it in the main game. I'm not sure.
Check this out.
Ah, yeah, we read that. How'd you get over there, Mutt? Oh, there's a way. Oh, right, there's a way around there. Okay.
I've read about this.
The table is strewn with expertly forged seals, Adeptus Administratum forms, Astra Metella. Blah 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 blah. Okay, hold on. How do we get out of this mess? Okay, hold on.
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows. Blessed be the road that we take. Injured. I'm enraged. See? Right there.
Oh, not another one.
The world
Okay.
trembles beneath my
Grant me the
feet.
wisdom to perceive.
Triumphant as always. Perfection.
Cast your eye there.
Okay.
Predictable.
Oh, it says don't approach it. Never let something like that stop me before. The weighty tome is bound in the skin of a human face, laced with a cord woven from tendons. A sinister crimson symbol dominates the cover, but it is difficult for you to make out. The details elude your scrutiny, and the strokes twist and shift, furthering the confusion. Burn it! The fiery tongues reluctantly lap away the taint of heresy from the book, their warm colours fading as they engulf the tome. The bloody symbol on the cover melts, and you hear a shriek so loud that the pain pierces your eardrums. The final flash reveals the heretical sigil in full, but only a moment later you cannot recall what it looked like. I wonder if we could have shot that through the... Okay, well, we'll shoot it now, just in case it's linked
Sins
to anything
hidden
else.
in the heart turn all to decay.
Ordo Xenos describes a daily test subject, okay.
Embrace true power.
You know what? Why don't we start bandaging ourselves up? 90 Medicae, 60, 40, 110, 100, 100. Okay. Pascal, you're going to be our nurse. Get us going again. Like something that reduces injuries. One fresh injury. Like 18 of these. Removes all injuries. Right. Pascal.
Data meditation is terminated.
Your aid was acknowledged.
Initiating bioreformation protocol.
Administration is a
System
fully
shutdown
tasked.
is premature.
I'm
Integrity
grateful.
factor increased. Initiating bioreformation protocol.
Stitching me up. Thanks.
Very nice,
Medicine
okay.
at its finest.
As it should be.
Moldy pages contain... Was that a fail? Succeeded. The moldy pages contain knowledge of heretical sorcery, most accrued forgeries, however. How do I... Now, we probably want to get up into that bit before we move on. Okay, I'm going to have to control our Genta
Join
through the
me in
maze a little bit.
prayer.
Let's start off with
Time to
Dahlia.
leave my mark upon the galaxy. Powers unseen uncover my path. Triumphant, as always. Perfection.
Oh god, you almost ran onto that. Okay, so we're going to want our
I'm
Genta...
restless. Let's proceed. I better myself through my service.
My ascension has only just begun. Predictable.
I woke up with a feeling of wonder.
Ruinous favor prevails.
Oh, hang on, that's a Xenos.
My aspirations transcend humanity.
Hey, we leveled up. Okay.
Let's seize
What do we
the
got? Some
opportunity.
goods. Corpuscarii Oath. Exotic. Arc rifle. I never really used arc rifles, plus Drakari thing. I mean, I'll collect those. I guess. Right, so we're kind of going up this way. A bit of a pain in the arse so far, but...
Your kind has no place in the
We
galaxy.
ambushed her by
Exterminate on sight.
these guys. I forget what they're called. They're the Egyptian death robot things. Alright. Start battle, I guess. So Cassia. Who's that? That's Argenta. She should probably deal with those.
Assemblement commencing. Rise again.
Emperor, give me strength. Face the navigator's might.
Okay, well...
If I may. In the name of House Orselio, I shall prevail.
Let's put all the usual gubbins on.
Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Momentum.
Faith without deeds requires none can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Necrons, that's it.
I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak. I am his will made manifest. I'll do it. This is why I was chosen. This is unacceptable. As the Emperor commands, this is why I was chosen. I'll do it. Faith without deeds is
Oh, you didn't hit either of them. That wasn't very good,
as the
Argenta.
Emperor commands. That is not the Emperor's will. But you, my Emperor! This is why I was chosen. Doubt is for the weak. Strike is a prayer.
You are but a fleeting flame before my tempest.
Oh, really? We got more, huh?
Stands before you.
Actually, set ourselves a bit this time. Yeah, that'll do. Where's Abelard?
Successfully terminated.
I have read tomes of military tactics.
Now, she got the thing where she can make people dodge her
I am a navigator,
thing. Oh well,
not a servitor.
I'm not sure, but I'll do this one just in case.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Momentum.
I'll show you why navigators are feared.
Purpose guides me. One step closer.
High momentum.
Right. Okay, so we could.
I need no guidance. My demise.
Howard Deathmark. Okay. They're on fire. Stay on
Ruin
fire.
beckons. I will triumph.
Reassemblement commencing.
One step closer.
Not quite dead, but he's almost dead.
Sow the seeds of discord. I need no guidance. Death shall reign!
Right. Interesting. Uncanny sphere. The pictograms are embossed on a perfectly smooth surface, but when you try to read them, your head begins to spin, and the symbols inexplicably change their positions right before your eyes. I wonder if it's made of heavy metal. Yeah, Big Pew seems to be the one behind all this.
Operation.
Fresh delivery from Murd Key, blah 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 blah. Right. Quite sure what that is an aid of.
Perfection. I
I
tread
guess
a
we're
path
kind of just gaining a lot of XP
unexplored.
from this stuff. Yeah. Let's blow our way through.
Duty prevails.
Guess we should go and see Big Pew. Did we not go down here yet? Oh, because there was some power, wasn't there?
The world will bow.
Right, well, seems like we should probably go look for Big Pew. Maybe that's it. Huh. Alright, tell you what, we've got to go back past her anyway, so I guess we'll take that. I guess it was kind of a fun area, lots of xenotech and stuff, and some nice weapons and
Compared
artifacts
to
and
naval
things.
service,
So,
that was barely a challenge.
meteorite shard. I mean, I had no idea what these are, but it's... Oh, hello. Priceless Xenos weapons, jewelry, and peculiar artifacts. You have not noticed them here before.
Intriguing.
Okay, can I not collect them? Alright, I mean, I can't seem to loot it, so whatever.
An expected result.
Look at the journal. So this was under rumours, wasn't it? Was this one? Came upon a mysterious artifact. Yes, that's probably the green thing I found. I mean, I don't know what that will lead to, and I'm probably not going to spend time in that campaign now to really probably arrive at that point either. So, like I said, it was a bit of fun. Nice. It was always nice to fight the Necrons. I think we had... They're kind of in the finale of the game, but not too much apart from that, so it was quite nice to encounter them again. I'll tell you what, we'll go somewhere else. We'll go back to Dargona, see if anything comes of that thing we found. Seems not. Okay, let's just pop back to the bridge. here we are. And I think we'll leave it there for now. I'm pretty sure that's the end of the sort of new content for the Lex Imperialis DLC. There's plenty more to do in the game, of course, but yeah, we'll leave it there for now. But thanks very much for watching this series, if you have. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the DLC. Like I said, I haven't played the Void Shadows one either. I was given a key by LCAT Public Games to play that as well, potentially. Let me know in the comments if there's something you'd like to see, you know, because I'll happily play through a bit more Rogue Trader. And, you know, if you're watching this and still not subscribed to the channel, if you could do that, that'd be fantastic. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.